Hey everybody, it's Mike or Canucklehead with Canucklehead Hockey, and welcome to today's video. Okay, well today I am breaking down the players that were taken in the expansion draft from yesterday for the Seattle Kraken, and some not bad players in there, but other than that it was kind of disappointing. But I'm going to read off the players that were chosen and give you my opinion on this team, and fill you in on a few trades, three of them, my apologies, 3 trades that happened today. So let's get started. Okay, the Seattle Kraken have already chosen their players, and this is the players that they selected. From the Anaheim Ducks, they took defenseman Hayden Fleury. Not a bad pick. He's still relatively young. I think he's still yet to really tap into his potential as being a top tier NHL defenseman, but you never know. From the Arizona Coyotes, they took right winger Tyler Pitlick, who today was just traded to the Calgary Flames for a 4th round pick in the 2022 NHL draft. So Tyler Pitlick, drafted by Seattle in the expansion draft, then shipped over to the Calgary Flames. So very short but sweet. From the Boston Bruins, the Seattle Kraken took defenseman Jeremy Lauzon. I think that's how you say his name. Not a bad pick. Still pretty young, in his early 20s. Don't know if he's going to be a full-time NHLer. He might be more like a depth defenseman, maybe playing in the minors, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. The Buffalo Sabres select defenseman Will Borgen, and I don't know who that is. I don't think I've actually seen him play. But yeah, they took Will Borgen from Buffalo. From the Calgary Flames, they took their captain, Mark Giordano, longtime Flame. It's actually kind of sad to see him leave the Calgary Flames. I really like Giordano. He's been around the NHL for a long time. Former Norris Trophy winner, and like I said, former team captain of the Calgary Flames. But first time in his career he's been drafted, so congratulations. But he's off to the Seattle Kraken, and from this standpoint, could potentially be their first captain, so you never know. From the Carolina Hurricanes, they selected centerman and winger Morgan Geekie, young forward. I'm not sure if you saw any NHL action this year. More likely just going to be like a bottom 6 forward / depth player, maybe playing in their farm team, but as of right now, that's how it stands. So from Carolina, Morgan Geekie. From the Chicago Blackhawks, Seattle took John Quenneville, and he's a left winger. I believe he's the nephew of Joel Quenneville, who's now currently the head coach of the Panthers. Former Devil prospect, but he is off to the Seattle Kraken. So there we go on that one. From the Colorado Avalanche, Jonas Donskoy, who happens to be a right winger. Bit of a late bloomer, not a big-time goal-scoring, point-producing forward, but he's still relatively a good player, can play on the penalty kill, so that's a good pickup for Seattle. From the Columbus Blue Jackets, they picked up defenseman Gavin Bayreuther, and a little bit surprising, but I guess there really wasn't a whole lot to choose from, so Gavin Bayreuther, young defenseman, going to Seattle from Columbus. From the Dallas Stars, they selected the big rig. They took defenseman Jamie Alexiak, and already they signed him to a 6-year deal. I can't remember what the term was, but it will be down below. But that's not a bad signing. He's not a big point-producing defenseman, but he's 6'7", like he's my height. So he's a big guy, and he can fight and throw a big hit here and there. So good pickup for Seattle. So Jamie Alexiak from Dallas is going to Seattle. From the Detroit Red Wings, they took defenseman Dennis Chalowski, and it's kind of surprising they went with him. I know Troy Stetcher was available, and I think he was their best defenseman, if I do stand corrected. But they took Dennis Chalowski, another young defenseman in his early 20s, so he's off to the Kraken. From the Edmonton Oilers, they selected defenseman Adam Larsson, who just also signed with Seattle for 4 years, and I believe the term is either $4 or $5 million. I have to look at it again, but once again, it'll be down below. Kind of disappointed. I was kind of hoping that Larsson would come to Vancouver, but oh well, it is what it is. So he's off to the Kraken, and that's a pretty good pickup. He's not a bad defenseman. He's more of a shutdown guy, but you need those kind of guys. From the Florida Panthers, they took goaltender Chris Driedger. I think this was pretty much guaranteed. I mean, it was all over social media and who they're going to take from Florida. So Chris Driedger is off to the Seattle Kraken. They also signed him to a 3-year deal. I believe the term is over $3.5 million a season, so that's not too bad. As it looks right now, that's probably their starting goaltender. And I mean, he's a good player. He's a good goalie. He had a really good season with Florida last year, but I don't really see him as being like a breakout superstar goaltender. But we'll just gotta wait and see. So Chris Driedger from the Florida Panthers to the Seattle Kraken. From the Los Angeles Kings, the Kraken selected defenseman Curtis McDermott. Just a minor move. Just a minor defenseman. I think he has NHL experience, but I think he's more than that, just a depth defenseman. So it's not bad. From the Minnesota Wild, defenseman Carson Soucy, and I guess that's okay. I think they could have done better from Minnesota, in my opinion, but Carson Soucy is going to Seattle. From the Montreal Canadiens, everybody was holding their breath and was like, is it going to be Carey Price? Is it going to be Carey Price? No, it was Cale Fleury, Hayden Fleury's brother. So yeah, another defenseman. So the Fleury brothers will be reunited in Seattle. And, in my opinion, good on Seattle for not taking Carey Price, because I did not want to see Carey Price play for another team other than Montreal. From the Nashville Predators, they had a chance to take Ryan Johansson. They had a chance to take Matt Duchene, but they didn't. They went with Kelly Yarncroke, which in my opinion is a really good pickup. Very underrated player. He's a centerman, but he can play on the wing. He can score goals. He can pass the puck, put up a few points here and there. So that's not bad. Not a bad pickup for Seattle. So Kelly Yarncroke is off to the Kraken from Nashville, and that's a good pickup. From the New Jersey Devils, forward, I believe his name is Nathan Bastian. That's more or less going to be a depth player right there, a guy to play in their farm team. But other than that, he's a young forward, so you never know. The Kraken selected from the New York Islanders Jordan Eberle, and this one was a big one. And I like Jordan Eberle. I liked him more when he was an Oiler. But now he's heading back to the West, and he's going to play for the Seattle Kraken. And I think he should be pretty good. So he's going to be one of their star players for sure. So Jordan Eberle is officially a Seattle Kraken. From the New York Rangers, Seattle took Colin Blackwell, a very underrated centerman / winger. He's like 5'6". He's like one of the shortest players in the NHL. But he actually had a fairly decent season with the New York Rangers, so that's, in my opinion, it might be a good, maybe bottom 6 forward for the Kraken. So I think he's got some talent there. I mean, it's not like he's going to be like a big breakout star or nothing, but I think that's a pretty good pickup. So Colin Blackwell is off to Seattle. From the Ottawa Senators, Seattle took goaltender Joey Decord or whoever his name is. Very promising young goalie. The few games that he played for the Senators during this past season, it's too bad he got hurt, because I think he would have had a really good season. But it is unfortunate. I know they really liked him out there. So that's one of the goaltenders going to Seattle's Joey Decord. From the Philadelphia Flyers, they had lots of opportunities to get 2 very talented players, James Van Riemsdyk or Jacob Voracek. They didn't pick any of those guys. They went with Carson Twarynski. I have no idea how to pronounce that kid's name. Young forward, but I mean, I guess they just didn't really want to take a chance with either of those players' cap. But I think in this situation, I think Van Riemsdyk or Voracek would have been a way better pick, in my opinion. So that's who the Flyers took, Carson Tornsky. That's what I'm going to call him. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, they took Brandon Tanev, a left winger, and that's not a bad pickup at all. He's a very underrated player. A guy who's like a third liner. I think he can jump up to the second line. He does have talent. He can score goals, but he's a good shot blocking forward. He's just like his brother Chris, who's now officially a Calgary Flame. He was a longtime Canuck, but I like Brandon Tanev. That's a good pickup for Seattle. I think he's going to do really good. So that's a good pickup for Seattle for sure. From San Jose, the Kraken take Alexander True, Danish forward, and I don't think he has a whole lot of NHL experience. Still, he's undrafted. He's still relatively young. So depth forward, maybe. You never know. From the St. Louis Blues, defenseman Vince Dunn is coming to Seattle, and that's a good pickup. Vince Dunn is a very underrated young defenseman. I think he's a good puck-moving defenseman. He's got a great shot. He's a great skater. He can play on the penalty kill, play on the power play. Great pickup for Seattle. I think St. Louis is stupid for letting him go and leaving him unprotected. So, good pickup by Seattle. From the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Kraken selected Yanni Gourde, which I think as of right now is their number one centerman. And for an undrafted player, Yanni Gourde is completely underrated. He's a great goal scorer. He's gritty, kills penalties. He really became a real great NHLer with Tampa Bay. He's got 2 Stanley Cups back to back. He can do just about it all. And, for a guy who was not drafted and fought hard to get to where he is now, that is a great pickup for Seattle. I know he's undergoing surgery, but hopefully he should be ready for when the season starts. So Yanni Gourde is coming to Seattle, and I'm really excited to see how he does. From the Toronto Maple Leafs, they just acquired this guy just the other day from Pittsburgh, and they didn't protect him. Jared McCann is going to Seattle, and that is another good pickup for the Kraken. A guy who could play at the center position, play on the wing. So Jared McCann is back to the West, playing on the other side where his career began. He was originally drafted by the Canucks. But so basically Toronto traded away a prospect and a draft pick for McCann, and he got claimed. So Toronto got nothing. So they kind of messed up there. So Jared McCann is now officially with the Seattle Kraken, and it's going to be exciting to see how he turns out there. From the Vancouver Canucks, this one kind of stings, but not really. From the Vancouver Canucks, the Kraken took right winger Cole Lind, very young player, like 23 years old, only played a handful of games with the Canucks this past season. As a Canucks fan, it's kind of disappointing. I was kind of hoping they would take like Braden Holtby, or maybe I was kind of hoping they would leave Tyler Myers unprotected, but they decided to protect him. But they wanted Vancouver to retain salary on Braden Holtby, which they did not want to do. So they took Cole Lind instead. So it is kind of sad, but I think he could have some upside. You never know. I didn't really see nothing special from him, but like I said, you never know. He could have a breakout season. Who knows? And maybe show the Canucks that they should have protected him. So yeah, best of luck, Cole, and good luck in Seattle. From the Washington Capitals, they took their final goaltender, Vitek Vanacek. Had a really good rookie season with Washington. It's kind of sad they didn't protect him, but they've got Samsonov there, and he's a really good goaltender. He's got a bright future. But Vanacek is off to Seattle, and he's got a bright future for sure. I don't know. You could possibly see him battling for that number one position in Seattle with Chris Drieger. I don't think Joey Decord is going to be the number one, but that's a good pickup for Vanacek. He's got a bright future. So Seattle takes Vanacek, and that's a really good pickup. Last but not least, from the Winnipeg Jets, they selected forward Mason Appleton. Bit of a bummer for Winnipeg Jets. I know a lot of Jets fans are upset about that, but he had a really good rookie season. Has a lot of upside. He's a tall forward. He's like 6'4", maybe 6'5". But yeah, he's a right winger, and he has a lot of upside, and that should provide some top 9 offensive presence for the Seattle Kraken. So there you have it. There is the roster, the players that they took in the expansion draft. So now here's my opinion on this team compared to what the Vegas Golden Knights from their expansion draft. It wasn't that good. It's not as good as you would think. There's a lot of good players there that were still available, and Seattle just did not want to take. But as it looks right now, I don't think you're going to see Seattle coming out of the barrel on fire like Vegas did. I think Seattle, it's going to take them a while to become a contender. But then again, they could surprise everybody and just come out of nowhere and just, But no, as from my standpoint, the team that they have here, they're not making the playoffs. They'll have to make a few other changes, but other than that, compared to Vegas, this is totally different, and it's not the best team. I mean, they might surprise everybody. They might even surprise myself. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But as of right now, by the looks of it, I do not see a contender here, at least on paper. But we'll see in October. But like I said before, 3 trades happened today. I already mentioned Tyler Pitlick going to Calgary from Seattle. I'm going to talk about the first trade between Arizona and Philadelphia. This is exactly like what happened with the Andrew Ladd trade going to Arizona. It just seems that Arizona is just a place of like dumping ground for bad contracts. Like Marian Hossa's bad contract went to Arizona. Chris Pronger's bad contract went to Arizona. Pavel Datsuk's bad contract went to Arizona. Andrew Ladd's went to Arizona. And now it is Shane Gostisbehere. Shane Gostisbehere, along with a 2022 second round pick and a 7th round pick from that same year, are going to Arizona. Now, what's coming back to Philadelphia? That's right. 0, 0, 0. It happened again. So, is this going to become a new trend or something? I have no idea. But it is kind of sad for Shane Gostisbehere. I mean, he just completely came out of nowhere in his rookie season. He was he was a Calder Trophy nominee. He was one of the best defensemen in the NHL, and then the last 3 years, he just completely fell off a cliff, and it's really, really too bad. But yeah, Shane Gostisbehere is off to Arizona, and whether or not he's gonna maybe rekindle what he had in Philadelphia his first early years, we'll never know. I mean, he's still a relatively good player, but I mean, it's so unfortunate. So yeah, Shane Gostisbehere is off to Arizona, and Philadelphia gets nothing. So yeah. Now this one completely shocked me. It happened between Carolina and Detroit. The Carolina Hurricanes traded probably their future starting goaltender. They traded Alex Nedeljkovic to Detroit for a 2021 third round pick, which is, I believe, 94th overall in this upcoming draft, which the draft actually happens tomorrow. But and they also get the RFA, I believe, or the rights to Jonathan Bernier, which in my opinion, it's like, why would you want to take Jonathan Bernier? He's okay. He's an okay goalie, but Alex Nedeljkovic is a way better goalie, and he's way better goaltender than James Reimer, and a way better goaltender than Peter Mrazek. So why would Carolina trade possibly their best goaltender from this past season, a guy who was a Calder Trophy nominee, and ship him off to Detroit. I mean, Steve Yzerman, the general manager of Detroit, absolutely fleeced Carolina. But I guess it's just so unfortunate. But I mean, I think old Ned, the goaltender, or he had a bunch of nicknames. I think Nedeljkovic is going to have a really good, bright career. And I think Detroit hasn't had a really good goaltender in a long time. So it should be exciting. I mean, it's not like Detroit's going to come flying out of the gate and become a contender right away. They're still building a team. But yeah, Carolina traded away their possible future starter and traded him to Detroit. So, oh boy. But that's the trade that happened. And so yeah, Alex Nedeljkovic is gone to Detroit, and he just signed a contract. I can't remember if it's a 2 or 3 year deal, but I'll put it down below once I get the details. Well, guys, that's the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and leave a comment and share it to your friends or anybody who might be interested in watching this video. And yeah, push the notification icon to get notified when I post future videos. And yes, please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. But anyway, have yourselves a wonderful day. I am Mike with Canucklehead Hockey, and I'll see you guys again soon. Later.